Yo, what up, nyakos? It's your buddy Philko here reporting live somewhere in Russia. About to give my opinion on Shyne, Mase, and Loon getting real religious. You got Loon doing his Islam thing. You got Shyne doing his Hebrew thing. You got Mase doing his pastor thing. I guess he's Christian, Catholic. I don't know what the fuck. Baptist. I don't give a shit. But you know, they're all going hard with God. Now let me explain why I think these rappers and other rappers do such things. I'm going to explain it to you. Now there is a point in time in which each of these rappers felt that they were on top or near the top of the world. A lot of people knew them. They had access to women whenever they wanted. They had a lot of money. And most of this was because of the guy who put them on, P. Diddy. He's the one that put them on. So they kind of, in a sense, praised Diddy. He was their God in a way during those times because he made it possible for them to have all those things. For them to feel the way they do, they needed Diddy. Because he was the one that gave them the access. That's why no matter how mad people get at Diddy, like, oh, this and that, he got conscious, blah, blah, blah. If it weren't for Diddy, we wouldn't have no Bad Boy. We wouldn't have had it. We wouldn't have had Biggie. We wouldn't have had a lot of things. So, in that case, in essence, I can't necessarily say fuck Diddy like a lot of people do. Like, back in the day, like, fuck Puff Daddy, they said he was taking advantage of the locks and taking advantage of all these people, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't let them go. I feel that. But in the end, most of those people wouldn't have had shit if it weren't for this man. And they signed the contracts as grown-ass men. All these men signed those contracts as grown-ass men. All of them. They're all adults when they sign those contracts. So if you sign a contract with this guy owns your publishing, he owns this and that for the rest of your life, and his family owns it for the rest of your family's life, you're a grown man, you signed it. That's the first thing I want to get out. You signed that shit. No one made you sign it. You feel me? And the problem most rappers have is that they get so spoiled, they start spending, using credit like nobody's business, because now they have access to so much credit. They're just using credit, throwing money around. They have to show off. They have to constantly have like a rich appearance. Always gotta have a nice car, roll up in this, change cars, all this shit just to keep up with appearances. Rappers spend a lot of money on appearances. A lot of money, right? So they get used to doing that. You get used to this stuff and like, oh man, you know, you start feeling yourself, you start feeling so high, you're like, you know, Puff Daddy's the man, but you know, I love myself, you know, God's cool and all, but yo, I'm the shit, I'm rapping about how I'm cool, I'm rapping about how I got all these women, I'm rapping about how I got all this money. So, time goes on, you're still rapping, you're rapping your ass off, you're shooting videos, doing this and that, but for some reason, people aren't really listening like they used to listen. They're not buying your records like they used to buy it. And Puff Daddy's starting to think, yeah, this guy here, you know, he's getting old or he's getting whacked. I might have to let this dude go soon, right? So you try harder to get back that fire you had maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. All these other new younger rappers coming out, and so people listen to them and not you. Like, damn, come on, we gotta do this, gotta do that, we gotta do it. You try even harder, and then as you're in the middle of trying real fucking hard to get back what you used to have, Puff Daddy's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to cut you from the label. We're finished. Now no records are coming out. Now people recognize you in the street, but odds are you don't have that appearance. Maybe you have that appearance for another year, pulling up in a nice car and stuff, but while you try to keep these appearances as if everything's okay, and you say things like, yeah, I'm on a break, yeah, I'm just taking a little breather, blah, 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 I'll be back on it. You're still spending money, you're throwing money out much faster than you're getting it in now. It probably was going out more than it was coming in before, but now it's much faster. You gotta catch up on your taxes, you gotta do all this stuff, and you're basically broke. You're broke. Maybe you're not poor, but you don't have the amount of money you had before. You're broke. So what do a lot of people do at this point? Well, they gotta make it look like there's two ways I see this going. One way is they have to make it look like they don't care. And one of the ways to make it look like you don't care is show that you're really devoted to something else. People can ask you, yo man, what happened to you? What happened to hip hop? Oh, Islam. That's what I got into. That's what happened. I got into Islam. Oh, I became a Jew, you know, I got into my Hebrew studies. I became an Israelite, whatever he is, I'm not sure, but I became Jewish. Or I became a pastor, you know, God is all I need, Jesus this and that, that's all I need, that's what happened. It could be an excuse, or it could just be, while they were under Diddy, not saying he was their God, but he was that man. He was that person for them to look up to. He was that person that made them happy with their lives. That was that person. He put them on. Then once that person lets you go, who was always there for you in the back of your mind? Who's the only powerful possibility that stuck with you the whole time? That's God. Then you go to the God thing. Yes, I love God. I love Buddha. Whoever, I love him. This is all I need in my life. So you don't feel so lonely as you really feel. Because as long as God's there, you're not lonely, right? So you don't have the money that you used to have. You don't have the women that you used to have. Even when they have wives, you know how a lot of them get down. You don't have any of those things you used to have, but you've always had God. And that's all you need in the end. For example, who do you think goes harder with God? Rich or poor people? Who goes harder? Who went harder with the whole God thing? The slaves or the slave masters? Who went harder? Who went harder with just pray every night, pray so hard, this and that, just pray. Who went harder, the slave masters or the slaves? The slaves. Because a lot of them felt powerless without God. When all of these three guys had a lot of power, they weren't fronting on it. They weren't on this God tip that much. They weren't. Maybe they claimed to be religious, whatever. But they weren't on that God shit so hard. Not at all. They had power. And they were under a very powerful person. They didn't need to do all this God stuff. You know, they were cool. Listen to their lyrics. Listen to their lyrics. And when you ask them, is that really you in your lyrics? You hear them in interviews. Yeah, that's me. But soon that power is gone, they got to switch it up. Oh, I just need God. Oh, I just need Allah. I just need this and that. Yeah, fucking right. Now, I'm not saying these guys don't really believe in the things they're into now, but this is just one excuse. It's other things too, but it's partially an excuse for why they're nobodies now. It's partially an excuse for why they're nobodies, and maybe even to get them back in the spotlight a little bit. You become big time Muslim, you become big time pastor, all this stuff, you start getting some attention again and you kind of like it. So you go even harder. But that attention is not really the attention you want. You know the attention these guys want. They act like they're so big into God. Yo, if Puff Daddy would have said, yo, let's start up something again. I give you a $500,000 deal. We get you back on top. Sign right here. I'll release all your publishing to you. $500,000. Everything is owned by you, blah, 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 and your family. Let's get this rap shit on top. But you got to rap the way you used to. See girls, blah, 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 blah. Let me think about it. Yes. I guarantee you they'd all do it. It may take some time, but they'd all do it. All of them. They do it. They miss it. They loved it. They loved it so much that soon it was over, they needed something else to hug them, so to say. They needed something else to make them feel special. And what else can make you feel more special than God? Nothing. Nobody. This is their way to feel special again. God loves me. All those women used to love me, but God loves me. Puff Daddy used to love me, but now God loves me. That's who I need to love me. God. That's it. Everything else is not important. I have God now. You know? And it's just what a lot of rappers do when they fall off, man. They put their hands together. Gotta get their prayer on. You know what I mean? But I'm not blaming them. Hey, I'm not knocking their hustle. Oh, and another thing. Another reason why a lot of them probably do it, especially Mase. This one's probably mostly about Mase. These guys were hustlers in the game. They knew how to make money. Pastors are hustlers too. They know how to make money. So Mase is probably the one getting his hustle on the most from this religious shit. I'm sure he gets a lot of offerings in the fucking plate. He's hustling. I don't know about the other two. Mase, the other two probably are really into it, but you know, they still miss the old life. But Mase is the one closest to the old life because he's hustling right now making that money. Probably still fucking mad bitches in the church. He's the closest one to a rapper right now. He picked the perfect way to do both. Even though he lost his big name celebrity status, he's close to it, and he's honestly probably happy enough with what he got. You know what I mean? He got all the attention from the women, he gets the money, people listen to him, all this stuff, yeah. They hear his voice, he got the microphone, yeah. It's very similar to being a rapper. Pastors usually have very nice cars. They usually have a lot of women chasing them. and everyone listened to their voice. He got the closest. The other two, I don't think they're as highly ranked as Mase is. But if they had that position, or if they do have it, I'm not sure, they, in my opinion, would do the same shit. They'll be making that money off that religion, getting closer to the life they used to have. Now, I know it hurts. Yo, I know it hurts. I know it hurts. Loon, Mase, Shyne, I know it hurts. How you used to be on top, but no one cares about you anymore in general. You know what I mean? I listen to this shit to this day. But I know how it feels. But the truth of the matter is, the problem with us, a lot of us humans, we can't just be happy with what we had. Especially when it comes to black Americans, we're way too much on this image shit. We always gotta look like the boss. We always gotta look rich. We always gotta, and that shit easily catches up to you. Ask anybody about how I dress in Russia. I wear the most basic shit. I probably wear 3 different outfits, switch them up every week. Just 3 different outfits, wash them, wear them again. That's it. I learned a lot of things from my father so I don't end up like these guys. Trying to floss, trying to look rich, trying to do this and that. I never. People ask me, oh, those nice earrings. Oh, they're nice, but they're not real. I tell you in a split second. Oh, that necklace. The necklace is real, but it wasn't expensive. I say it in a quick second. What kind of sneakers you wear? Oh, in Russia, I don't wear expensive sneakers. These sneakers are maybe $40 because it's always muddy in places in Russia. And they're like, oh, you don't wear this and that? I'm like, no, it's a waste of my money. That's not me. I'm the kind of guy, I'm more like the owner of Facebook. Forgot his name, but you know how he's rich as fuck, but he wears just a hoodie and jeans, looks mad regular? That will always be me. No matter how much money I make, no matter how cool I am in people's eyes, I'm always going to dress like an average dude. And I'm always going to be touchable. Always. Even if I become a movie star or whatever, I'm always going to be touchable. You always see me as some dude on that train. Like who's like that? Redman. Redman was like that. He probably still is like that, but he was like that even when he was hot. He was one of those rappers that was just big as anyone, but you could see him just walking the street by himself. Or walking the street with a few friends. And just kicking it with normal people. Catch him on the train sometimes just because he feels like it. That's how Redman was. Even when he had good money, he just lived in there are times he was just living in a normal apartment just because he felt like it. He didn't want to ball out all the time, and I respected that. And I want to be that guy. I want to be just like him. I wish I was able to respond to everyone's messages. That's one thing I always thought I'd do if I ever become popular, but nah, can't do that shit. Way too many messages. I'd be here all day talking to people. I can't do that. But I read them, and seldom do I respond. When it's business, I always respond. If it's not business, I probably won't respond. And so that's my opinion, people. I'm gonna leave silence at the end of the video because for some reason this editor, when I record with my voice, it how to put it? It cuts it short. It keeps cutting me short. I don't know why it does that. So I'm out right now, but the video is going to continue for like a minute, so you can just stop listening now. And that's it, people. Let me know what you think. Later.